He's Rick Tyler.
And he's Dan Cashman.
And I'm Diane Dickerson, proud CEO of the Bangor Region Y, and I'm on the Ric and Dan Show.
In Maine, we often hear,
"You can't get there from here."
these are the stories of the risk takers.
The trailblazers.
Those who turn obstacles into opportunities
every day and found their way
to get there from here.
And today,
There on the Ric and Dan Show.
I'm going to come right out and say this. You were a showgirl in Vegas? No. You made that up. You fibbed.
There are no L's in gullible. My goodness.
Oh my God, that's great. Of course I wasn't.
I believed you when you said that in an email to us. Can we talk about when I was a showgirl in Vegas? But I thought, you know something? It makes absolute sense. She has confidence. She has poise.
Let me just tell you what I don't have. Should I start describing?
Nope.
Should I point this towards me and start describing?
Oh my word. But you're from Vegas, right?
Yes.
What was it like growing up in Vegas?
Completely different than what you would ever imagine. I have never to this day gambled a day in my life. They could have blown up the Strip when I was young, and it would not have fazed me or my family whatsoever.
How far away from the Strip were you living in Vegas? I don't have any idea how big the geographic
I'm very
region
old.
is.
So when I was young, there were only probably 6 to 7 properties. Like you remember the old Desert Inn and the Sands and the Flamingo and the Rat Pack.
Rat Pack days, yeah.
So those were the casinos that were there. The Dunes, those are all gone. And those used to be owned by individual families and be very spread apart. Okay. So that whole long strip, you had a lot of space between the properties. Nowadays, probably 4 people own all of the properties. They're conglomerates. They're big companies, big conglomerations. And there is literally no space. I mean, it is like built on top of each other, on top of each other.
How did you get from Vegas to here?
Many stops along the way. I left Vegas when I graduated from high school and went to college and said that I was probably never going to go back to Vegas other than the fact that I wanted to live next door to my mom and dad my rest of my life. But I wanted them to come live where I was. It was a lovely place to be raised. You know, I think when I left for college, there were 200,000 people in Las Vegas at the time. But I just didn't want to go back there. There were bigger things for me. So I went to Utah to school after being signed, sealed, and delivered to University of Southern California, and last minute announced to my parents that I was changing my mind and I was going to follow this boy to Utah. And I can still hear.
That's always a good decision.
I can still hear to this day the words that my dad used.
Could we broadcast those words, or would we have to bleep those out?
No, and I also don't want to broadcast the guy's name either. So, but it was, and so I went to school in Utah. Went from Utah to Washington D.C. Worked for my senator. Then worked for the Senate Rules Committee.
I didn't know you worked in D.C.
For years, and then worked for. And then covered congressional hearings for trade associations. So my major was broadcast journalism, public relations, marketing, advertising, business, and then my minor was nutrition, just because I was a nutrition geek.
Why not?
Right over here. I didn't know that about in Washington. What were your years like in Washington?
Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Loved it. But the same boy I followed to Utah was there as well.
Did he follow you this time, or did you follow him?
No, this was together.
Together decision.
But I then made, 2 times you make the same mistake. Actually, when we get to why I'm in Maine, that's a 3-time mistake. but that's not a mistake. But so then from D.C. to Denver, Colorado, and worked in advertising and marketing in Denver, and then was recruited by a large West Coast-based advertising agency in L.A., and then moved to L.A., and then from LA back to Las Vegas and opened up my own agency. And The rest is history.
That's a lot of spaces. And I have, I would say in the past 3 years, fallen in love with Los Angeles. What was it like when you were there? Did you have a love affair with LA, or did you hate it and couldn't wait to get out?
I couldn't wait to get out.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I'm just not an LA girl, I don't think.
I am not an LA guy.
I'm a Maine girl. I'm a Maine girl.
I'm not an LA girl either.
But I'm not an LA girl. And I was, in understanding that when you grow up in Las Vegas, you're going to LA all the time. I mean, when we were kids, I'm the youngest of 3 and the only girl. And my dad would put us in the back seat of the station wagon and we would head down to Dodger Stadium for a Friday night game, a Saturday game, 2 on Sunday, and then head home. So we were down in LA all the time. It was kind of like our backyard playground. But I just, after, living there, I was in my 20s. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't the place for me at that time in my life.
You would think that all of that big city life, whether or not you like LA or not like LA, coming to something as relatively small as Bangor, Maine, would be like an episode of Northern Exposure, if you know the reference.
Yeah.
Was it like that?
So I was in Vegas. The majority of those years, and I raised my kids. I went back to Vegas from LA just because of a family illness, and I was only going to stay for a few months, and I ended up staying 20 years. Met my husband. We became partners in an ad agency. We had 3 children.
You should never work with your spouse in an ad agency. I don't want to say that for the record.
Actually, you guys do a fabulous job at that, and we did too. But those 20 years in Vegas, and when my youngest was a senior in high school, and actually, when she was younger than a senior in high school, she was a equestrian horse jumper, and the other 2 kids were in college, and she was recruited to be trained by this very famous equestrian teacher in California, in LA area. And so that's what took me back to LA.
Wow.
So, and that was just for a few years, but it was from that area to Bangor, Maine.
So these are, as Rick said, big areas. Mm-hmm. LA, Las Vegas, Denver, Washington. What was the appeal of Bangor? What brought you to Bangor? And why do you I love Bangor, but why do you love it so much?
Do you remember the stupid young girl that followed the boy to college?
I heard something about this, yeah.
Well, now it's a stupid older woman that met a man who lived in Bangor. His son and my son were college roommates in Boston, and so that's how we became friends, and ultimately more than that. And he would come out to California every 2 weeks to visit. And I never came here because I still had a child at home.
Yeah.
And finally, after 18 months of this, he said, we really need to live in the same town. And I'm thinking, yay, he's moving to California. We were on the beach in Malibu when he said this to me.
Yeah.
So I thought, aha, this is what I hooked him. And that's not what happened.
No.
I then ended up in Bangor, Maine. And on my first day here, I said, oh, dear God, please tell me I don't have to die in Bangor, Maine. And now you can't get me out.
Yeah.
You can't get me out. Susan Collins she introduced me at I was testifying at a Senate hearing, and she introduced me that, I'd lived here, and I finally found home in Maine. And I think that is it. I just love it. I love the people. I think also because of what I do for a living here, the generosity that I see, the kindness of people, I really think that I get to see the beautiful side of people and the number of people that I get to help and serve every day. It really is a gift. It's a blessing.
Let's talk about your passion for the why, because it's infectious. In a way, it has to be. Where do you get your passion for what you do at the Y?
So if you knew how I was raised by the 2 greatest human beings on the planet, who literally believe that no matter what you did professionally in your life, that your real role was giving back to the community and serving the community and those people that were less fortunate than you. So I spent my entire childhood doing that and being shown how to do that by these two phenomenal human beings. My dad was a lawyer. My mom was a teacher who retired once she had all of us kids. And they were just completely dedicated to this small community, which it was at the time, a very small community of Las Vegas. And I think that what I found with the Y, it was a culmination of my personal and my professional life coming together, my lifetime coming together. And just from the standpoint of all of that compassion for others and giving to others and serving others and really identifying people who are in need and doing the right things for them. At the same time, I'm a business person, so I get to do that while I am running a business. I am a creative person, a marketing person. I get to do that by running this business and working with these people in this community. And I think that it was just... I think it was just where I was supposed to be. I always say that I think that the reason I came here was for an individual, and that didn't pan out the way that I think either one of us had hoped that it would. But I was meant to be here. I don't want to get religious or spiritual with your audience, but I was brought here for a reason. I really do believe that.
I think a group of us actually made sure that you met that individual, and we all, it was kind of a problem. But we got you here at
We
work.
showed him your picture, and he said, I'm in. Okay, yeah. Where do I sign?
Well, that's because you showed him the showgirl picture.
There are some individuals that think that you must consume 5 to 8 cups of espresso every day for the level of energy that you present.
Yeah. I drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning. That's it.
How big are those cups?
No, they're not big. But I think, again, I'm going to come back to the wonderful Dory and George Dickerson, who they had that energy. Mm-hmm. They had that love of life. And it's not just that enthusiasm and that passion. No, I'm passionate about those things I'm passionate about. Mm-hmm. I'm not passionate about everything. When you own your own ad agency, for example, I was able to pick and choose clients. Do you guys get to do that?
I mean, I do.
Is that we pick and
what?
We pick and I was able to do that, and I could never ever do marketing or advertising or public relations or anything for something I did not believe in. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about the Y is what can you not believe in at the Y? I mean, it serves everybody from babies to older adults and in such positive waves. And it's such an asset for the whole community. So that energy, I wake up in the morning with that and I keep going.
No. You stay up all night. I think you and I have swapped text messages in dark 30 because I'm getting up, I'm going to work in an early morning job. Yeah. You're just probably going to bed, Dan. But
I'm just getting in.
We don't think that you even sleep. You told me once that you wake up maybe 1:30 or 2, ideas come to you and you just don't stop.
Down.
You do.
Yeah.
You're like Buddy the Elf. You get a fresh 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And you have time to build a rocking horse.
Yeah.
Doesn't that come to catch up with you?
I'm a good sleeper now. My kids were most worried about that. So my son, I'm not wearing it now, but he got me a Whoop so that he actually can measure do you know what a Whoop is?
What's a Whoop?
Oh,
there it is.
It measures your sleep. It measures your activity.
Oh, so it's like one of these an Oura ring.
It is. It is.
Okay.
And it's hooked up to his, so he sees it.
So
and
they're
he knows.
tracking your sleep.
They're tracking my sleep.
Usually parents low jack the kids. It's the other way around.
Why don't they just put a baby monitor in your room?
Yeah, they are tracking my sleep. So
but you've got a nutrition background, so I wonder does that factor into this? Are you eating all healthy and everything?
Oh, I do. Oh my gosh, I'm a green drink person every morning. That's what I do really well is nutrition. It's the sleep part that
I think it eludes all of us.
Sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah. But with you, is it because you can't sleep or just because you're so full of enthusiasm and energy about what you do that you just want to consume all of the daylight hours that you can, awake hours that you
Well, it's also because I'm trying to build a $57.8 million building.
I heard something about this.
The sleep and the stress that goes with that.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the stress that even goes with running a nonprofit and to help have the funds to be able to serve the people that we need to serve. I mean, this year, for example, we have more requests for financial assistance than any other year we've ever had before.
Yeah.
Tell us the joy that you must be experiencing when you drive on Main Street and you look and you see the crews that are clearing the land and getting ready to be what will be and you say it for us.
The Kathy Jarrow Bangor Region YMCA.
It's a mouthful.
Yes.
It's a heartful too, though.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. It's so exciting, but every time I look at it, I just see such gratitude because it could not happen without the support of this community. It just could not happen. And it couldn't happen without the hard work and the effort of people who have served this Y for years, much longer than I have, who came before me and brought the Y to where it is today. And the staff that is so dedicated, the board of directors that are so dedicated. But it really is it's a community effort to help make this happen. And it will change this community for generations to come, which is really an exciting thing to be a part of. And it's kind of like my love letter to this community that adopted me and embraced me. And I once wrote a op-ed from lost to love from a girl from away. And it was when my parents passed away, because I'd moved my parents here the last year of their life, who had been in Vegas for 70 years. And, I'm a fifth generation Nevadan. Their entire roots are in Nevada. So they came here thinking they were coming just for a little short vacation. And ended up staying a year with me. And when I lost them 18 days apart from each other, it was this community that stepped up to really support me through that and to show love and show such compassion and caring. And I just think this is my way of saying thank you back to this community for embracing me the way that you did. Because when I first came here, no names, I'm not going to mention any names, but somebody told me, oh, the people will never work with you because you're from away. So I really want us to get rid of that from away idea.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you wanted us to get rid of that person.
Yeah, we can do that.
Dan and I are ready to go take care of that.
Yeah.
Get him, Dan.
Yeah.
We got a car with no license plates. We can make it happen. Mm-hmm. I was at Shaw's today in downtown Bangor, and podcast should be evergreen, so I'm not going to say what the site looks like. I'll just say it looks a lot different than it did when I was downtown a few days ago. Right. I'm downtown every day, but sometimes I just take a hard look at it. Does that rapid progress, does that excite you? Does it make you nervous, stressed? How does that site feel for you?
It makes me so incredibly excited and happy because it's taken a long time for us to get here. And it may look like a lot of progress is being made, but boy, there is so much work that has to be done on that site. God bless Chenbro, AZ Corporation, SMRT, Haley Ward, because they're all the experts behind making this happen. But, this is a long process. We will not be in that new building. They will not be completed with that building until probably late summer of 27.
So someone is going to end up listening to this podcast 3 years after we launch it. And they're going to hear these comments.
Right.
And they're going to think back to when they drove by the pile of dirt.
Right.
And the excitement that was around the Y. And they're going to say, wow, now we have this.
Yes. Yes.
How does that feel to you to kind of envision once you're through all of the construction and then you have this?
Well, if whoever's listening to this 3 years after it has been opened and is running well and making such an impact, I actually will tell you guys, I'm hoping that I will be sitting back and enjoying it. And maybe not as CEO, but as an active member and an active volunteer of the organization. I'm just so excited of what it's going to bring to people of all ages, especially our kids. I mean, to have a basketball court back in the Y as it's supposed to be, as it should be, that is a big deal in itself.
And the fields outside.
And the big fields outside, which has never been the case for a Y in Bangor for 158 years. So that's a big deal.
And a teen center that's needed probably in this region more than ever.
And a teen center. And a teen center that's critically needed. Makes a difference every day.
places for seniors to come and not only to enjoy companionship, but to take part in physical activity that's going to help them live a longer, more limber life.
Healthy life. And even those that already have chronic disease, that we get to work with them to help their lives, even with the disease that they might have, live it in a happier, healthier way, and to live longer, even with that disease, whether it be cancer, whether it be cardiac rehab issues, whether it be Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. So those are just wonderful things that we can help support a person's life.
Members of your board have said to us, good luck trying to say no to Diane. It ain't going to happen. I don't think they're wrong.
Tell my kids that. Tell the man I moved here to Bangor that.
Okay. I don't know about that, but so many have said to us that you have a way, not of wearing people down, but winning people over. Now, if I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong.
I don't even know what that means. I am just who I am. And when I love something the way I love this, I am definitely somebody who's full of a lot of love. I will say that. And when I dedicate myself to something and I love something so intensely, it has all of me. Whether it be an organization, people, family, friends, whatever. So I don't look at it that somebody said at the groundbreaking, well, if she'll come at you this way, but if she doesn't get you that way, she's going to come at you another way. And I don't see that. To me, it's all genuine passion and caring for the right thing, at least the right thing for me.
Can I diagnose? Can I get my doctor's jacket on here
Yes,
for a second?
please.
I'm going to get the white jacket on. Excuse me. I'm just going
Dr. Cashman.
I get my stethoscope.
Yep.
I think it's a level of authenticity. I think Diane Dickerson is one of the most authentic people you're going to run into, which is sort of funny because two of the places that you mentioned that you live so long are known for being fake.
Fake.
Los
Yes.
Angeles and Las Vegas.
And Las Vegas. And you could also say that a little bit about Washington, D.C.
I think that you possess a level of authenticity. So when you do exert the passion, we know it's real. When you bring out the love for what you do, we know it's real. When you make the ask, we know it's real. And I would say that the authenticity of Diane Dickerson is what makes you unique.
I love your diagnosis.
Thank you. I'm going to take off the stethoscope now.
I love your diagnosis.
Taking off the jacket.
I want you to make sure that goes on my tombstone somewhere.
We'll have to condense
There's
it.
a lot. It's going to have to be shorter. Yeah. But sharing that level of authenticity does not come without a commitment of energy.
100%.
And so that takes me back to, I don't understand where you find the energy to do all that you do. Maybe you're curling up and taking a 20-minute cat nap under the desk there at the existing Y.
Boy, is this the pot calling the kettle black when I look at him.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway.
The difference is Rick is just angry all day.
Don't make me angry, Dan. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Good genes. Definitely good genes.
Well, that's what I thought when you talked
DNA.
about mom and dad.
Yeah.
And probably the nutrition.
100% nutrition, exercise.
And getting the sleep you need. And I guess part of it is what you've described. Devoting your emotional and mental capital toward what is actually your passion and what matters the most. I bet you don't play Wordle.
I do not.
Okay. You see, who's got time for that?
And guess what else I don't do?
What?
I don't do Facebook.
I'm sorry. There's a person that doesn't do Facebook?
You're the one.
Yes, I don't do Facebook. And yes, because I really don't have time, and I just think that it becomes a full-time job after
If you don't do Facebook, how are you going to know my score from Wordle?
I'll call you every morning.
Okay, that sounds good.
At 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I'll call you.
when she and I are swapping text messages, hey, what if we tried this? I get a better idea. Let's do this. You got a great staff.
I do.
I don't know if you could do what you do if you didn't have these people that are surrounding you and working with you in concert with you.
Rick, 100%. And I tell them this all the time. I tell the board this all the time. I tell anybody that will listen that the staff of the Y, I get emotional about them. We are a family, and many of them are young that have grown up with us. Even from before they became a staff person, they were part of our Y membership or on our swim team or at Camp Jordan, and they've just kind of rolled into it. So I've been able to watch them grow, and now they evolve into these wonderful professional people who, again, are so passionate and dedicated about what we get to do every day. We don't have to do what we do. We get to do what we do.
You just mentioned Camp Jordan, and I feel like sometimes I forget that Camp Jordan is part of the Bangor Y. But Camp Jordan is such a special place for my own kids, for generations of kids that have gone through the program. What makes Camp Jordan so special?
It allows children and teens to be themselves and to be honored, supported, and truly worshiped for who they are as individuals. And it is such a place where acceptance and belonging is so beautiful from kids from all over the world. I mean, it's not just, Bangor Brewer or even the region kids. They come from all over the states and people internationally. It's just a really beautiful melting pot of humanity. And I think kids appreciate that. It also gets them off of their electronics.
And I love you for that.
Yes. And, frankly, I think that's probably one of the healthiest things that we can do for kids, and where they are just getting to be kids again and sharing with each other face to face rather than on any sort of device. And it makes a big difference. I will tell you, Camp Jordan is life-changing for kids. I mean, it has truly changed kids' future by attending Camp Jordan and being a part of, not just from the younger years, but also then into leader school, and just really learning how to become the person that they are and respecting the person that they are and being committed to remain the person that they are at Camp Jordan. They want to continue on once they leave. It's a beautiful place to be.
A moment ago, we asked you to cast your vision ahead for 3 years for when the new Y is open. I'm going to ask you a similar but different question. What would our region be like if we didn't have the Y?
Oh, goodness. What would our children do? Parents would not have a place to bring their child so they could work. From an economy standpoint, just from an overall, if I put on my business hat, from an overall economy standpoint, this community would be suffering without the Y. We would not have as many happy children. We wouldn't have as many happy teens. We wouldn't be able to take a child through from infancy to toddler to school age to teens and help give to the world these wonderful human beings who really want to give back and do something good. We wouldn't have that camaraderie. We wouldn't have people multi-generational coming together. I just can't even imagine. And I've heard this before others, before my time. I remember my first year here, I'd filmed Cliff Eames and Sally Arata and some other people. And I remember them saying in this video is, what would this community ever be without a YMCA? We've been doing this for 158 years in this community, and I believe we are the community that we are today because we've always had a Y. And as we grow and develop as a region, I just think the Y even becomes more vitally important, and I think it becomes more vitally important for our children who growing up today is much more difficult, certainly than it was when I was growing up. And probably you're so much younger than I am. So probably even when you were growing up. And I think that the Y is just a crucial place to be. It's a community asset. It brings this community together. It makes us stronger all together. And it makes our economic picture of this community better and stronger.
So I ask you the follow-up question with all seriousness. What would this region be like without Diane Dickerson?
Oh, that's so nice. What would Diane Dickerson be without this community in this region? I count my blessings every day that I am here and that I came to Maine. Even though it was kicking and screaming in the first place, it is exactly where I am supposed to be. And I have met some of the most important people in my life in Maine, the ones who have just captured my heart so much. It's been a wonderful family spot for me. I've got 3 kids and now 3 grandsons that love Maine. They just love Maine. I think that it's a healthier place to live. I think that my goal is to live to 110, and I think I'm going to reach that because I get to live in Maine.
I want to believe everything that you said to me, but you also said to me in an email that you were a showgirl in Las Vegas. So now I'm second guessing everything about our relationship, Diane. Oh my goodness.
I just love the fact that you actually believe that. I mean, you can look at me, chubby cheeks,
No.
dimples, and don't have the assets that some of those showgirls have.
Stop it. Thanks for listening to the Ric and Dan Show.
And thanks, Ric, for making this a very entertaining, unique experience. Sarcasm filter off.
Oh, man. If you like what you heard, don't suppose you'd click that subscribe button.
And maybe leave us a review on your favorite listening platform.
5 stars are our favorite.
And next time you hear someone say,
You can't get there from here,
you tell them to listen to the Ric and Dan Show.